You're halfway through a normal Tuesday: coffee, traffic, a calendar reminder when an unknown number calls. It doesn't leave a voicemail. It just calls again. Your lock screen shows your family photo, and you realize your phone is now the most dangerous object you own. This is your life, level by level, inside a sleeper activation. Act 1: The ring you promised to ignore. A normal Tuesday splits cleanly into before and after. Your day is small and measured. School drop off. A red light that always takes too long. A Slack ping you glance at without thinking. Then the unknown number hits your screen. No name, no voicemail, just persistence. Your pulse jumps like it's been waiting in the dark for years. You keep your voice even when you finally answer, because you've practiced, even, for a long time. The voice sounds ordinary, tired, almost bored. It gives you a banal line, something about a delivery window, a wrong address, and you hear your own mouth respond with the matching, equally boring phrase. You tell yourself it's a spam call. You tell yourself you imagined the cadence. You tell yourself you can go back to the grocery list and the meeting at 10. But the words aren't the trigger. The trigger is what unlocks the legend you built, the rule you lived by. Never acknowledge the past, never write anything down, never get caught explaining. You remember reading about the 2010 FBI illegals case like it was someone else's story, and you realize you were never reading, you were checking. You stare at that family photo again, and it feels like a cover story printed on glass. Act 2: Tradecraft in plain sight. Every harmless habit becomes a surveillance tell. You move through your own neighborhood like it belongs to someone else. You don't change everything, only the parts that matter. You leave the smartwatch on the dresser. You power down your phone for exactly 3 minutes, then back on, because silence in the data can be louder than words. You take the long route to the highway, the one with too many turns to be convenient. At the grocery store, you use the freezer doors as mirrors. A man in a gray hoodie pauses when you pause. A sedan in the parking lot turns out right after you, then turns again, like it's practicing not being obvious. You watch reflections. You watch hands. You watch who stops when you stop. You tell yourself you're being paranoid. You tell yourself normal people notice patterns too. You tell yourself you're just tired. Then you see it. A tiny mark on a utility box near the park entrance. Not graffiti. Not damage. A deliberate smudge where a clean panel should be clean, like the old signposts you were trained to treat as instructions without admitting they were instructions. The call wasn't the activation. The world is the activation, and it's speaking to you in whispers you still understand. Act 3: The drop. Where your life can be folded and buried. You go looking for a package that can erase you. You haven't been here in 15 years. Still, your feet don't hesitate. You cross the park as if you're killing time. You pass the same bronze plaque, the same cracked path edge, the same fence line that should look like nothing. Your hands know where to go before your brain catches up. Behind a public fixture, an old fence post with a loose cap, you find the hollow space. No movie gadget, just a simple bundle wrapped in plastic. Inside, cash in mixed bills, a basic prepaid phone still sealed, a USB drive, and a folded slip of paper with 2 short lines printed in plain font. Practical, quiet, heavy. Your fingers hover over everything like it's contaminated. You tell yourself it's just emergency supplies. You tell yourself you can put it back and walk away. You tell yourself your spouse will never know. Then you realize what you're holding. The version of you your family has never met, compressed into a few ounces of paper and silicone. And the USB isn't just instructions. It's proof you exist, and proof that you can be made to disappear without ever leaving town. You've taken the call. You've read the street. You've touched the drop. Next, the message reaches you without a meeting, and the first, small task, aims straight at your home. Act 4: The message hidden in the noise. You receive instructions without ever meeting anyone. The prepaid phone stays in its box until after midnight, when the house finally exhales. You sit at the kitchen table with the overhead light off, the glow from the microwave clock painting your hands a dull green. You pop the seal. No fingerprints you can prove are yours. No contacts. No photos. Just a blank screen waiting to be told what it is. The first message arrives as an emergency alert, same vibration pattern, same banner style, except the text is nonsense to anyone else. A string of weather abbreviations, a highway mile marker, and one misspelled word you were trained to treat as deliberate. You open the local AM station on a cheap radio app and hear a late-night host reading sports scores. The caller slips in a phrase that matches the misspelling. Twice. You tell yourself it's coincidence. You tell yourself your brain is scavenging meaning. You tell yourself you can shut it down and go to bed. Then the task clarifies in your mouth before you even speak it aloud. Tomorrow, at 7:18 p.m., you will bring your kid's backpack to a specific donation bin behind a strip mall on Route 9. The mission doesn't knock at your door. It moves in and starts rearranging your furniture. Act 5. The FBI's net tightens, and your handler knows. The counterintelligence pressure becomes part of the plan. By afternoon, the neighborhood feels too neat. A utility van sits half a block down with no ladder on the roof. A new face walks a dog that never pulls. At the gas station off the parkway, the same white Ford Explorer ends up behind you in line and then behind you again at the light, as if the day is looping. At 6:03 p.m., your normal phone buzzes an unknown number, one ring, then dead. Not a call, a pulse. Your prepaid lights up a minute later. 2 words, no punctuation, do not run. You taste metal. You scan your own driveway through the front window and notice the tiny things you never noticed. The angle of your trash can. The way the mailbox flag sits, the unfamiliar scuff near the curb. You tell yourself federal attention is random. You tell yourself you're not important. You tell yourself you can outwait it. Then you remember procedures. Parallel construction, knock and talk. A quiet subpoena to your phone provider that arrives before the agents do. And the worst part is the message's calm certainty your handler isn't surprised. Your handler is counting on it like gravity. Act 6. Burn the legend or burn the mission. You choose what survives. Your cover life or your orders. 7:18 arrives like a scheduled outage. You load the backpack with ordinary weight textbooks, a half-used glue stick, a permission slip so it swings right on your shoulder, so it looks like you're doing a favor on the way to dinner. You drive with both hands at 10 and 2. You stop fully at stop signs. You let a yellow light go red. Behind the strip mall, the donation bin smells like wet cardboard and old cotton. A security camera sits over a loading dock, its lens pointed just off-center, either broken or pretending. Your prepaid vibrates once, left hinge. You kneel like you dropped your keys and feel for the taped seam. There's a thin envelope tucked into a gap that shouldn't exist. Inside, a micro SD card and a single line printed on cheap paper. Place it in your home. No address, no target, just the place you sleep. You tell yourself you can hide it and never use it. You tell yourself you can destroy it and still be safe. You tell yourself safety is a thing you can choose. Then you realize the real decision isn't the card. It's whether your life is a shelter or a dead drop with a wedding ring on top. You keep your face calm because calm is the last habit that still obeys. You wash dishes. You answer a question about homework. You feel the weight of something smaller than a coin pulling harder than any full suitcase ever did. 15 years ago, the training was meant to disappear. It didn't. It just waited patient as dust until an ordinary phone decided to ring.